Hello and welcome to the St. Louis Green Business Challenge Virtual Brown Bag Seminar Series. I am Jean Ponzi, manager of the challenge. Today is Thursday, April 6th, and this is the first time we've had one of these programs since November. We're going to have them periodically this year. We're going to alternate a webinar month with an in-person event month as the challenge year goes on, because it's great that we can get back together again. This is a little bit of a special edition, orienting everyone toward use of the online platform GreenBiz Tracker. And my colleague Jacqueline Jezik is joining us. She is sustainability specialist, new to the challenge team. So we've got a lot to cover here, and I'm ready to rock and roll. We always want to acknowledge our sponsors at the beginnings of these programs. Thank you very much to Graybar, presenting sponsor, generously supporting the challenge since its launch in 2010. And we also appreciate Ameren, Missouri, Citizens for Modern Transit, and Ride Finders supporting the challenge as our sustaining sponsors. The Cortex Innovation Community supports partnerships and collaborations essential to achieving our goals in 21st century the sustainability mode. And Missouri American Water joins us this year as the sponsor of monthly programs. Thank you very much. Moam H2O makes me want to take a drink. And supporting our Green Cities Challenge participants, thanks very much to Madison County, Illinois, and 1STL, our regional sustainability plan, the St. Louis Jefferson Solid Waste Management District, and Missouri Department of Natural Resources support anything having to do with, I gotta always say it, RRR. Okay, coming events. This Friday, Challenge Apprentice companies will be joining the program in a training workshop at the Missouri Botanical Garden. You know who you are, CK Power Perennial and the Contemporary Art Museum, St. Louis. Next Thursday, we will have another virtual bound bag program from noon to 12:30. It will be about protecting our migratory birds, and professionals from the St. Louis Zoo and the International Dark Sky Association will be presenting this program. It's just in time for May, because that's when my birds are migrating through here, and we want to be understanding and turning off lights in our building. Green Cities will be gathering on Zoom next 14th, and please put Thursday, May 11th on your calendar. That will be an in-person event. It will be a happy hour in Grand Center, hosted by RES and the Pulitzer Arts Foundation Ecological Landscaping Outdoors Happy Hour. Woohoo! Join us on LinkedIn and tag your enterprise, join the discussion. Angelina O'Donnell curates our LinkedIn group. Jacqueline Jezik, new to the challenge team, sustainability specialist, a colleague I am so very, very happy to introduce to you today, giving us an orientation to GreenBiz Tracker, the national platform, national reporting platform that we are using. And Jacqueline, I'm going to let you take it away.
Great. Jean, did you want to give background a little bit about?
Yeah, go ahead and put up the tracker slides, and we'll do that with those slides.
Perfect.
If you have questions about this, please type them in the chat. We may or may not be able to have actual verbal Q&A, but please put your questions in the chat and we will cover them. So this is a little bit of a PowerPoint that comes to us from Julianne Rhodes, who is the developer of GreenBiz Tracker. She gave a presentation last year. We did a sort of a pilot launch of Tracker last year, and it is a program that is in use nationally. It was originated by, go ahead, next slide, please. It was originated for the California Green Business Network, and that is somewhere between 45 and 60 small programs up and down the state of California, all operating under the umbrella of the California GreenBiz Network. They all use GreenBiz Tracker. Now, the difference between that usage and ours, first of all, in California, it's a certification program. There are a lot of requirements, regulatory requirements, which we don't have here in Missouri, and we don't have with the GreenBiz Challenge. This is, however, a platform that allows users to track your impacts. There is a cool climate calculator being integrated into GreenBiz Tracker that we should be able to take advantage of soon in this program year. And we're giving it a go to join. We're one of 10 states. Missouri is one of 10 states using this tool. Next slide, please, Jacqueline. And this is an opportunity for you to register. Jacqueline will walk you through the registration process. There is a dashboard that will give your company input on how you're doing. Checklist, we use the term checklist in GreenBiz Tracker. The challenge always use the term scorecard. Those two things are synonymous, checklist and scorecard. And we have imported the Green Business Challenge scorecards that you have known and loved and used into GreenBiz Tracker. So what you should be seeing when you register and you get in there is what you would have used with us as an Excel spreadsheet. There is an opportunity for recognition. You can get your company on a national map of green businesses, not necessarily as important to the kinds of companies and enterprises that are in the St. Louis Green Business Challenge compared to, say, a restaurant or a professional service provider that the public might want to use. Our program really has much more B2B recognition than public-facing recognition, but it's an option through GreenBiz Tracker. And I think at this, from there, Jacqueline, let's switch out of this PowerPoint and you can take it away with an online walkthrough of what companies are going to experience.
Great. Welcome, everybody. Jean and I will be sending you a link to the Green Business Tracker registration page, and that link will bring you here. The first thing you need to know is that you need to have a common email and password for all to access. So when you get to this page, you can enter your contact information. It can be anyone from your Green Business team, but just make sure that the email and password is accessible. When you scroll down, you can enter.
I'm going to pop in a couple of things here. That was a point of confusion last year. There were a couple of companies that registered with one individual's email and then others on the green team could not get in. I apologize. Last year, we didn't know that you had to have one common email that everybody uses. So be sure, and we'll put this be sure in the email with your registration link, that you set up an email that anyone on your green team can access and share that password. At this point, GreenBiz Tracker is configured to only have one point of access.
Thank you, Jean. When you scroll down, you'll see the business information. You can fill all of that out with your company address, name. When you get to this section where it says select type, that is where it's you can select champion or St. Louis leader. If you don't know which one you are, just contact one of us on the challenge team and we can let you know prior to registration so you can enter that successfully. We scroll down a little bit further. You don't have to sweat a lot about this, but it's a little bit of things about entering about your business: number of employees, your approximate business square footage, your landscape square footage. Part of this is what Jean had talked about in the cool climate calculator inside the Green Business Tracker. This is just where they're starting to get the baseline metrics to measure that for greenhouse gas emissions across businesses. So it's kind of a good thing just to fill out just to get started. But again, don't get too focused on it, just the basics. We scroll down. If your company requires any permits, you can fill that in through this section right here. Keep scrolling, tell us how you learned about us, hit the terms of use, and then click the submit. Before
you submit, can I add another note, Jacqueline?
Sure.
So again, this originated in California, and there are a lot of permits required for a lot of regulatory oversight for businesses. We don't have that same degree of oversight here. Hence, however, the platform is the platform. So there are more things in it that are literally relevant to what we're doing in the Green Business Challenge here in St. Louis. And that's why you're seeing more information requested than you might think is logical given your experience in the challenge before.
Once you submit your registration, you'll automatically be popped onto your new dashboard. So this is your GreenBiz Tracker dashboard. From here, you can see the benefits of being in the Green Business Challenge. It'll tell you a little bit about the history and the program itself. What I would ask you to do is when you get to this dashboard for the very first time, you'll see these gray tabs at the top. Go ahead and slide on over to profile, and you can fill out the balance of information for your business. You can add logos, business images. You can insert any of your social media accounts and then hit save. There's also options to tell a little bit more about your business, if you're employee owned, Black business owned. And then you can scroll down, and there's also places to insert about why you're trying to be more environmentally friendly and all those aspects. So just a little bit more details about your company. From here, I did want to note for the Green Business Challenge itself, we will not be using the 2 tabs to the right, the reports and communications tab. So you can act like those do not exist for now. But we will be using the checklist tab. And what I've learned on this website is if anything is in green, it's clickable. So if you ever don't know where to click, just find the green buttons. So as Jean had said, everything, as always, is completely voluntary. All measures are voluntary. And it will stay that way. However, when you see this for the checklist, there are hierarchy of umbrellas. So the categories that all of our measures fall under are energy, pollution prevention, solid waste, transportation, water, and community. So I'm going to come back to this in just a second. I just want to give an overview of what this page currently looks like. If you go 2 tabs over, you'll see the point value. So that point value, it notes how many total points are under each of those categories. So under energy, in a second, you'll see that there's a bunch of subcategories, but overall there's 780 points available under energy. There's 145 under pollution prevention, 475 under solid waste, 460 under transportation, 135 under water, and 835 under community. Now, Jean and I saying that everything is voluntary, we did decide to—
Yeah, there's an exception.
We did decide to make a few things core measures, and I'll bring those up in just a second. In saying that, none of these core measures are of more value than the regular measures. It's just really easy things that your business is probably actually already doing. So we'll just go over, there's 13 of them. These are the ones that fall under energy. It's take advantage of energy efficiency.
Jacqueline, can I add an extra little bit of emphasis here about why we did that?
Yes, absolutely.
Because again, in the embodiment of GreenBiz Tracker, there are requirements in order to be certified from where this program originates in California. We're not a certification program. We don't have requirements, but there's a functionality in Tracker that says X number out of how many completed, meaning requirements. And that was confusing last year when we piloted this use of this platform, because it was always 0 out of however many. And participants felt like they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. So when it says X number out of how many, that relates to the very small number of measures that Jacqueline has designated as core. It's not going to affect your performance. It's not going to affect your outcome overall. We just made that little bit of an adaptation of some little bit of core designation so that it wasn't a vestigial odd thing that you wondered why you were not performing up to snuff.
So these are the 13 core measures, really easy. I mean, does your company have a green team, a suggestion box within your company? And I tried to color code them so they fall under the umbrellas. So it's really easy for you to go back and forth. And we will also email this to you with the link for your registration. So you have that all together and you can read through them. Go back to the—
You're so good at color coding, Jacqueline. I love it. So sensible.
I feel like I'm very visual. It's easy to see like that.
She's a photographer.
Coming back to this page for the checklist, like I said, when you click, everything green is clickable. When you click on the checklist, you'll see the, subcategories for energy. And that goes along with every umbrella. So you can see the Energy Star, energy use, LEED. If you go to pollution prevention, with indoor environmental quality, solid waste deals with everything from recycling to food waste. Transportation, we have employee commuting as well as like business travel. In water, we have indoor conservation and outdoor conservation. And then for the community piece, there are a bunch from everything from employee engagement to community partnerships. So I wanted to start there. I'm going to zoom in on transportation for just 1 second. So as we talked about with those 13 core measures, you can see on any of these when there's a core measure, it's the first category. So I'll circle it with my arrow. So under transportation, the first 3 are really easy core measures. Below that are the elective measures. Again, not one is not more important than the other. So if you find yourself that you do one of these measures, so does your company use a virtual meeting program? You just come over and hit the yes, and it calculates that for it. You can see how many points are for each measure right here under the description of the measure. If you do it, you can hit yes, you can hit no, and if it's not applicable to you, just go ahead and slide it to the right. Really easy. So I'm going to say yes that we do that. And then also for some of these measures, like the next one is also a core measure in establishing a ride finder program with your business. For some of these, we also installed green tips. So if it's a website or something you might not have heard of before, you can go ahead and click on those, and they'll take you directly to the website to get more information about those programs. I'm going to go back just a second.
We put ride finders in there as a core measure because it is such a sensible thing to have someone in your human resources be the ride finders contact. Ride finders is a sustaining sponsor of the challenge, and it doesn't mean that you have to enforce carpooling and van pooling, but it gives you that little core oomph to encourage carpooling and van pooling and establish within your enterprise the structure for people to participate in ride finders. So thank you, ride finders.
I'm going to go ahead and say that my business has established that within itself. So right now you can see after I've clicked 2 of those that, well, it should have updated, that I'm hitting 2 of the 3 required measures for the transportation, for the core measures for the transportation category. But you can keep scrolling, get to the elective measures. Something I really like about this website in particular is for in the spirit of community, we like to have people share their policies and things like that. So instead of having to email those back and forth with the challenge team, you now have the option of hitting upload and uploading things from your computer directly into the site. So that can be anything from your policies to, I don't know, if you have like a community engagement event and want to upload like what your flyer looked like, things like that, you can share. Because sharing is caring, and we can share all around with all the businesses. So trying to think. So if you keep scrolling to the bottom of each of these categories, there's also a section that you can input other things that your business is doing. So if there's things that you're doing that you think might be point worthy, or you just want to let us know, or things that you might be doing that we might consider adding the measure for the next cycle of the Green Business Challenge, go ahead and enter that. We'd love to hear it.
And at this point in the challenge life, transitioning to GreenBiz Tracker from our Excel spreadsheets, where you add those measures unique to your business, that's where you would have taken credit for innovation points. In the early years, innovation points were a way to boost up point values. Well, now we have a lot of really high point values. So the little matrix that we had for innovation points is pretty binky compared to what you can just get in the checklists and tracker. However, if you're doing something that is exemplary performance in everyday green operations, which is what the challenge is addressing, put that in things, other things your business is doing. If you're doing something that is sustainable, that's specific to your business. So for example, I don't know, something that is specific to the kind of business that you are doing, put that into other things that your business is doing. And that will add to, first of all, the body of knowledge for what's happening within your company. That's very, very important. This is a repository for your company's team, but also will add the opportunity to credit and acknowledge what you're doing in those innovative ways.
Let's see. So once you have gone through, I'll just go to another one, for example, too, for solid waste, something that's not a core. Let's say we encourage our companies to use reusable bottles. I'll hit that. And now I've just added another 5 points to another umbrella of measures. So when you get done with this, you can go back to the challenge and you can see, do you remember those 2 transportation measures I hit with ride finders? It's showing now that I do have 2 of the 3 core completed, and that it's in process. And then when I just did the solid waste, I've been playing with this for a little bit, so you can see I've here in the points value, I've completed 15 of the 475 available points in the solid waste division.
Can I add a note, Jacqueline, about the not started part there, the status part?
Oh,
Or
yes.
do you want to explain that?
Oh, sorry, yeah. If it's not started, like if you look here in the core measure, basically this whole status section is only reflective of the core measures. So don't get too caught up on that, because if you see on energy, it says I've completed 0 of 5. If I had started 1, it would say in process. And if it's green, it'll say completed. But like pollution prevention, we don't have a core measure for that. So it will remain 0 of 0.
And if you were doing this, using this tool, GreenBiz Tracker in California, working towards certification, status would be the level of certification you were aiming to achieve. We are not doing that. So status really doesn't directly affect outcomes of the Green Business Challenge. It is a part of GreenBiz Tracker that, because of the configuration of our program, we are not utilizing. So don't worry about status, unless you really, want to be famous or something.
For the second tab, you guys will really use, it's basically the completion. So the checklist is where everything's going to happen for your business. Under status, you click on the St. Louis Green Business Challenge. This gives you an overall, you've accrued 45 points of all available across the board. And don't, for this also, when you keep scrolling, this is also just a culmination of core points. So don't look into too much for this line of measurement. So if you can see, it says like for employee commute, I've completed 2 of 3. But it does not take into account all the other voluntary measures that we're doing for points. So when October rolls around and you have done all your measures, you've gone through, checked everything that you've completed for the year, you've uploaded all your documentation, everything, you scroll down to the bottom and you hit the submit my checklist, and that will submit all of your measurable points and all of your policies, everything to the challenge team for review for the end of the year awards of point accumulation.
And we have in the past had awards of merit, the winning the challenge, made for leader level participants on the basis of most points gained. You may remember you used to submit a baseline score and a final score. This year, for the leader level, the champion level, and we are asking our Green Cities participants to use GreenBiz Tracker 2. We'll go over this in the Green Cities Challenge workshop on Friday morning, the 14th on Zoom. It's an option. You don't have to. It'll give you good feedback. It'll give the program good feedback. So we will make awards of merit on the basis of top number of points. Everyone will get an award of achievement. And so you'll have something to take into your C-suite and go, yay, we did this, and we'll publish our accomplishments booklet. However, top points this year over and above. And we have 5 minutes remaining. There is one question I'd like to ask Jacqueline.
Yes.
What if, and I've been making notes here on what we need to put in the email when we send you your tracker access. We're aiming to do that first of next week. What if you're doing the challenge at multiple locations? Should you establish 2 tracker accounts, one for each location?
That's a good question. I feel like we should ask our California colleagues
Okay.
about that, if that's an option.
That's for Mallinckrodt Pharmaceutical. And Gina, I know we talked about that, focus on one location or more locations. We will address that question for you. And yeah, Carol wants to know the time for the happy hour. It's going to be 5 to 7 on May 11th, 5 to 7 on Thursday, May 11th. And we'll put that we just confirmed the details of it. So it'll be in next Monday or Tuesday's challenge e-news along with the registration link. Any other questions?
I was gonna say, I can stop sharing if anyone.
That was great, Jacqueline. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Millipore Sigma does all 7 sites in the leader role. You're going to have a handful doing this at all 7 sites. We will answer that question for Millipore Sigma as well. And one option might be to have an overall green team that we'll talk about this. Well, one of the strengths of the challenge is case by case support, company by company support to help you succeed using the resources that we have. So now we know Mallinckrodt and Millipore Sigma both need a little bit of that fine tuning.
Perfect.
Any other questions? We think this is going to be useful. We think this is going to be everybody's doing everything electronically these days. And it's been a little bit of a challenge to import our materials into a platform that is geared for a slightly different process. But Jacqueline, you've done a tremendous job doing that. And we look forward to working with each one of you to help GreenBiz Tracker be a useful tracking and reporting tool for you.
I was going to say to get going maybe too, if they just want to read through and kind of hit what they're already doing, just go ahead and hit the green button for what's already happening.
Okay. And you, can we send that out in the e-news on Monday? Can we send that tracker access?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because we don't need an individual link for everyone, right? It's just the link to log in. The key thing is you want to establish a login and a password that your entire green team can use. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble because there's only one door in. We'd all be busted because there's no egress out, but that's the way it is in the world of tracker. Green leader level, pick that when you sign up for the type of business. Champion level, when you pick that, you'll get the challenge champion scorecard. Green cities, we're going to designate one green cities, and that will give you the same checklist as the leader level, but it will say green cities so there isn't confusion. And at the apprentice level, we're still working with our basic menu of accomplishments. If you have any questions about any of this before you sign up, you can just email jponzi@mobot.org. We're working on getting Jacqueline a challenge email address. And anything else you can think of, JJ?
Not right now, I think, yeah. If you have questions, totally email.
Okay. So launching Challenge 2023 with a 21st century online platform, problem solving that, working on that out, getting kind of tweaking that for the challenge in Missouri as we go. Thanks everyone for being with us today in the virtual brown bag. We'll see you here next Thursday from 12 to 12:30. I believe that's April 11th, for a program about protecting migratory birds. That will be our April Challenge monthly program. And then in May, we will have an in-person program that will be the May 11th happy hour, hosted by the Pulitzer and RES, outdoors with happy hour refreshments. Yay. Jacqueline Jezik, welcome to the challenge team.
Thank you. Nice to meet everybody.
Angelina O'Donnell still working with us. We're going to give her an honorary J.
Yes.
Okay. On behalf of the Green Business Challenge in St. Louis, I'm Jean Ponzi. Thanks a lot.
Bye, everyone.